Okay, I'm back, and y'all didn't catch that. I evidently hit the stop button and killed that video, so this might be part two, where we're gonna pick up where we're gonna check for spark. I'm gonna put the plug in it. I like to snug it up just a little bit. This is a spark checker, fairly common item. You can spend as much money on one as you want to. I don't like to spend a lot of money. I'm not a professional. I just do this as a hobby. So that's another Harbor Freight tool. And I don't know, they're $5, $6. They're not very expensive at all. So I'm kind of doing this as a hobby for me, but really, if it inspires you to fix your own chainsaw, go for it. I mean, you can get tools that are fairly cheap. Like I said, I buy a lot of them from Harbor Freight because they are cheap. They work. I'm not a professional, so if it lasts me 4 or 5 jobs, great. If it lasts me 10 years, that's great too. Anyway, enough talking. Let's pull it. You should see a spark jump through here. I'll have to try to I can't even see it. Yeah, put it down here where I can hold it and pull. Well, I didn't see no spark, and that's a brand new plug. Make sure everything. Try it one more time. All right, I'm gonna turn the light out. I can see it, so you just have to take my word for it. I mean, it's got good compression. So let me get the lights back on where I can see again. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the plug. And I'm just gonna break it. I think we got compression and we got spark. And these lines are old. The This says it's a primer bulb, but it's a purge bulb. Primer would mean you're pumping fluid or gas into your carburetor. It's sucking gas out of your carburetor, putting it back in your tank. That's a purge. Some lawnmowers do have primer bulbs where they add gas to the carburetor. We're not adding, we're just sucking, make sure there's no air in the fuel line through the carburetor and displacing that gas back into the gas tank to be burned. But that's cracked, so we know the fuel lines are probably all rotten, and I do have new fuel lines to put on it, and we're going to do that because I'm not going to dig in this far into this old of a machine with fuel lines that are known to get brittle over time in the two-stroke gasoline and crack and break. So we're going this far into it. We're going to change the fuel filter, the fuel lines. We're going to look in the carburetor. I don't have a carburetor rebuild kit, but we will look in and see what the diaphragm looks like and what the metering diaphragm looks like. You can reuse them, as long as they're not brittle or deformed. And the other thing we want to look at is the strain on the inside of it. So we're going to look at all that, and if it all looks good, we'll put it back together. If it needs a rebuild kit, again, they're $6, $7, $8 on Amazon. You get one in a day or two. If we need one, we'll just stop the video and pick up where that comes. When we get a kit in, we'll start again. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, the side cover, because that has to come off in order to get to this primer bulb. And this one's either going to be a Phillips or a flathead. I think I used Phillips on it. My daughter and my son-in-law has graciously told me they'd help me with the video editing. And if we put it on Facebook, or if we decide to try it on my YouTube page, which I ain't never put nothing on it either, they said they'd help with that. So anyway, if I don't know about Facebook, I don't know if how long the video can be on Facebook, so it may be too long. I don't know. We'll find out. Just trying to get my screws sorted out. As you can see, this primer bulb takes 2 screws. Some of them, this has a little pinch type device that holds it in. This one actually got to take 2 screws off. And what we're going to do next is pull these off, and I think they're 8mm. Try to get access to the carburetor and the fuel lines. It's always good practice to open that up. We ain't got no fuel in it. I drained it, what little bit was in there. When I first got the saw, that gas cap, well, not this one, but this one here, this cap here, I had to take a pair of pliers and I had to unscrew it with pliers all the way. It seems like this piece right here doesn't want to fit into the ID right there. I ended up taking a Dremel tool and I trimmed a lot of it off. I got it to work, but it was still pretty tight. So got this. It's also my first order off of eBay. I think I got paid $8.90 or something like that. The shipping costs more than the parts. That's crazy. That's the reason I like Amazon. I mean, sometimes I can get it the same day, next day, 2 days with a Prime membership. And it was almost $10 in shipping for this one and an oil cap, which I didn't use the oil cap because my oil cap is good. I mean, it has no problems, but I got a spare now if I need it. But it's crazy that the postage costs more than the part. And then it took a week for it to get here. So it might have been my first and my last order from eBay. Shipping don't get any faster than that. I'm just going to leave that off so we can not build any pressure up. All right. I'll see. Where'd she go to? Also, the saw, when I got it, when I opened it up, there was no air filter. One of the reasons I want to look inside the carburetor. This normally are a foam filter inside here, but there is nothing. So I don't know if it was run like that. If it is, run without the filter, everything goes in this hole, goes straight into your carburetor, straight into your engine. It's not a good thing. And you just have to wiggle that to get it off. And I try to keep all my hardware with each piece that I take off. Okay. And for an explanation on the fuel stuff, this is mainly your fuel pump. That's where you got the little flappers on the inside. I'll show you when we get in. But this back line is your small line, and it goes from here down into your tank on this side of the coner. I see a lot of videos where they're putting a big line on here and using the big hole in the coner. That didn't seem right to me, so you can do what you want. I looked it up online, asked the question, I think it was in Google, if fuel line size matters on these chainsaws. And the answer was yes, it does matter. Because that's a very small fuel pump. And the bigger lines have a bigger ID, which is going to bring more fluid that you're trying to pick up and bring up to it. It says it affects the horsepower for the different size motors. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to put the small line back where the small line goes, and the two big lines, they'll go back over here. Now, I haven't looked at this one. I do have that's new fuel line. Here's my new air filter. If you can tell, one's shorter than hold my hand still for you. One's shorter and one's longer. From what I read, you need suction on this small one should be a suction line. If it is, the bulb should not come back out to where it is. It should stay in when I mash it. Put your finger over it. and it had suction on it. You heard it pop because it didn't have a good seal on it. But if you do that to the long one over here, so best way I can tell you to help you remember it, short hose goes to the short filter, long hose goes to your long hose, and your long hose is going to go from here down to your tank. Your short hose is going to go from here where right here. Hopefully that'll be shorter than the other, but the short one's going to be your suction, and the long one's going to be your pressure, and that's why they call it a purge, because it's going in with gas at the top, you're sucking the gas out into here, pushing the gas out of the bulb into your tank. It's a purge bulb. Okay, enough of that. Let's see. I'm going to try to scoot the lines off real quick. I try to do the two big ones, and then we'll pull the bulb off, and we'll look at the lines. Let's see. And the other one is down on the going in the tank, so I got to pull the other one off of here. These small Phillips. Here's what it is. Oh, that's that small Torx. That says that's a T15, and that's that. Yeah, on this one, you see they're both the same length, but you do use the same screws. Them right there. All right. Let's take this small one off, and we'll be able to work with the carburetor. Also, the fuel line coming out of the tank from the fuel filter out of the tank up to the top, that's a plastic fitting, and they're known to break, so you got to be careful when you go to take them lines off. And your choke will just lift up and that way, and we'll pull this out. We got to get our linkage off. If y'all notice, there's only one hole on this one, so there's no way to get it mixed up. sometimes the linkage comes off, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it on and move it out of the way. That's a pretty good shot of it. Let you see what we're working with. Take a pair of needle nose. So the suction line as you can see right there, got the curve, went up to the carburetor. So we're going to pull that out. It don't feel that bad, really. And I think I told you wrong. That is the I believe that was the fuel line. I think it. Now there, this is a fuel line. That was the suction. That's correct. And this one is going to be the purge line. And that is just too dirty for me. Before I go any further, I'm going to blow it out with air. But I need to cover that hole. Let's see what size it's going to be. Yeah, that'll work. I have to put a pink one in there. Yes, you got these plugs at Harbor Freight too. They're probably making a killing off of them. But anyway, give me 1 minute and I'll get all this dust out of it. All right. I'm going to pull this, well, before we get that, we might as well take the filter off. I don't know if I can reach that with them. I doubt if you can see in there. You can see the one line with the fuel filter on. I'm going to pull it out. And if you look at the top, you're going to be able to see that one or not. But anyway, the line that brings the extra gas out and pumps it back in, it has a little fitting on the end of the gas line, and it's pulled up towards the top of the tank. So I'm going to have to push it down, take that little fitting off, and I also got to pull the fuel filter out and take it off. I would normally, before I'd done all this, I would normally pressure test the fuel line and make sure we didn't have no leaks in the gas tank. And then I'd also pull a vacuum on it. If I ain't mistaken, there's a vent in this gas cap. Because as you run your saw, you use gas. If it's not venting, then eventually you're going to vapor lock it. You're going to have so much fuel come out, it's going to create its own vacuum and it's going to seal. If you don't have a vent, your gas is going to stay in here. It's not going to be able to be pulled up to your engine, and your engine ain't going to run. So you need to check your vents. And I'm curious. I can see the little tab in there, but maybe I'm overlooking it on somewhere, but I don't see a hole. I may have to scratch that centerpiece out a little bit, see if it's there. But anyway, let's get that's your fuel filter. And we're just gonna snip it off. And that was actually the foam off my microphone. That's cool, brand new stuff just falling off. That's probably my fault anyway. All right, so now I got to try to get that one with the fitting and pull it out. And I apologize, y'all can't see, but when you start to do your own saw there, you'll see it. Wee. Straight pair. That's that fitting I was telling you about. It goes to the purge line. And we'll pull this one out. Come on. And we'll double check the tank for dirt. That'll cute. Nice light. That's an ultraviolet or UV light, and then that's regular white, red, UV. Came like that. I don't know if I have much use for it, but there you go. I did buy extra line, but a new fuel filter will leave it over here. We can get to it. I actually got two of them. That's it. For some reason they sent two filters, two fuel filters, two air filters. All right, let's see this line. Those both look the same. Let's check. So these, when you get your order, you still need to match things up. It's supposed to take a small line. They putting two of the same size line in there. You don't know who packed it. But let's see. If I got the right line, we're going to put the right line in it. And I thought that was a Ziploc. I believe that's the one we want. I was really expecting these to come in 4 separate bundles. There's 4 sizes of this fuel line. And they drill the hole smaller for the one that goes to your filter. So you got a small hole, then you got a larger hole down here that those will fit. But you try to stick this down that small hole, and it may take you a little while. It just doesn't fit good. But those holes are not bad. they'll get used. I'll put them in that sack when I get done with them. Okay. I'm gonna put this at an angle to help get in that hole because it's got a square shoulder on it. Put a little bevel to it. And a little bit of oil would go good. I may have to cut a little more on it. I need to get enough of it down in there I can grab it with my pliers. And the other tube is almost twice this size, so I'm having trouble with this size. You can imagine the other size would have been terrible. Now this is going to be a little bit of a fight, so I'm going to pause the video because you see what I'm doing once I get it through the hole, and I'll get it pulled out, and then we'll add the filter. I'll have you on when I go to add the filter and stuff.